God uses circumstances to help us see our issues. The problem is we're blind to our issues most of the time. We don't really see what we are or who we are and the things that really need to be changed inside of us. And so God has to use something to get our attention. God has to use something to help us become aware of those things that He wants to work on inside of us. And God quite often will use, yes, circumstances. And this is exactly what God did for Jacob. He used some circumstances. So as we saw a moment ago, that when Jacob stole the blessing from Esau, the family was torn apart. The family was dissected, divided, if you will. And of course, Esau now wants to kill his brother. So Jacob had to run away simply to spare his life. He was sent away from the family. And actually, as he flees from home, he finds himself in the territory of some of his other relatives. And actually, by divine providence, he ends up at a well where there's some shepherds there who are the shepherds of his father's brother or his uncle named Laban. Think about that. God miraculously, circumstantially, providentially brought Jacob to a place where he says, this is where you need to be. And there in that moment, God started a process by bringing Jacob under the influence of his uncle Laban, which ultimately would result in the changing of his life, because Jacob started working for Laban. Eventually, Jacob marries two of Laban's daughters, Rachel and Leah. And he found himself working for someone who was as crooked as he was. Think about it for a moment. Here's this crooked, deceiving, conniving Jacob. He ends up working for Laban, and it's not long before he realizes he's working for somebody just like himself. And in Laban's employ, Jacob started reaping some of what he had sown. He found himself in a tough set of circumstances.